I sit quietly in this space of silence. I turn inward into my inner being. I, the soul, am a being of light. I visualize at the center of my forehead the light that I am, the living energy that gives life to this body. As I watch this physical body of mine, I appreciate how I, the soul, am a master of this body. I am the master of my physical senses. I am the master of my thoughts and feelings. I look back at all my experiences and watch them as a detached observer. Good or bad, all is well, all is good. For in all my experiences, I have learned and am moving forward in my journey. Yes, there were tough times ahead, but challenges have made me stronger and a better person. I value my journey. Whatever has happened along the path is good. Whatever happened and whatever is happening is very good. And whatever will happen is for the best. I continue to journey inward, for introspection allows me to see with honesty and clarity who I am. I continue to move forward, for the past is past. I leave behind whatever has to be left behind. I let go. I forgive. I continue to journey upward towards the Supreme, towards the divine light. I experience the light of pure love and wisdom of God that constantly guides me on this path. Om Shanti. I, the soul, am a being of light.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Yes, all those of you who are right now at FB, I see Nancy, and I also guess Stella sometime. And I'm sure a lot of other people will be coming in a few minutes at Zoom and at face-to-face. Of course, there's Letty Lim too. I see her at Zoom. And at face-to-face right now, I am with beautiful souls. There's Inday there, who just came from a retreat in Tagaytay. Yes. Wonderful to see you here, Inday, this afternoon. We also have, of course, our good friend, not just friend, a spiritual friend, Tensi, who has always been there. And of course, there's Duncan, our eternal friend, who is, as we were saying, we're going to not just have a very short talk right now, but this will be a highly spiritual talk, simply because we recognize the eternal being in each of us, the soul. And this eternal light will continue to shine. Let me just say that I also came from a wake just a few days ago, and I attended the wake of our 49-year-old inaanak. And I was wondering, I asked myself, what's the difference between this corpse that I see right now and the people who are around moving? And I realized, yes, it is the soul that has made me move and do what I can do right now. And the corpse in front of me is but the body, and the soul has left that body at that point of time. So during the inurnment, which means that body was cremated, what comes to my mind is no longer that robust body of my friend and inaanak at the same time, the 49-year-old who experienced 6 operations, 2 of them major, and stayed 4 months in the hospital. But rather, the thought, remembering the memories of one soul who was then in that body, very, I would say, cheerful, very generous, and one guy who was a friend to everyone. And right now, he has rested after 4 months in the hospital, in the ICU for 3 months. And finally, the body is rested. But the soul right now, I'm sure, is traveling to where it should go, into a new life. Because as we had heard earlier in our meditation commentary, I, the soul, am a being of light, an eternal light. I do not die. So our friends right now who are with us in this journey, let me all welcome you to our Saturday conversation, which is entitled The Soul's Journey. And to join us this afternoon in this forum, it's not really a speaker that we will have today, but rather an interaction of souls into their journey. I'd first like to welcome, of course, our spiritual friend and whom we have discovered in inner space. Let's all welcome our beautiful friend, Tensi, the one who has never been tense despite of and in spite of what is happening. So Tensi, please have your chair there, and you might as well give a greeting to our friends out there in FB.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome to our journey this afternoon.
I love that. Welcome to this journey as we discover each other's journey. Somebody was saying, why are you saying the soul's journey? And it's supposed to be S apostrophe, because you're going to have people who would talk about it. But I said, I don't think there is any grammatical error in that, because Tensi was saying we will take each journey individually. So that is the soul's journey. But thank you, Mario, for commenting on that. At least it clarified everything for me and for the rest of us who are here right now. Now, may I introduce another friend, another spiritual friend who has been journeying with us for some time already, young and vibrant. Let's all welcome the lovely, lively, and loveful Leia Chavez.
Hi, everyone.
Charot, Jude. And of course, this afternoon's special host of the program, I would like to call our, I think you're familiar with him already. He's our foreign speaking and is already right now, as I was saying the last time, is a permanent resident of the Philippines already. Let's all welcome Brother Duncan Coleman.
Thank you, Sister Ellen, for a wonderful introduction for us all. Hello, Leia. Hello, Tensi.
Hello, Duncan.
Yeah, the soul's journey. I hope that whoever has tuned in was tuned in from the beginning and caught that opening meditation, because it just beautiful imagery of traveling through nature, and also an emphasis in the commentary on being a spiritual being, a being of light. So it's a concept because it's quite different to our sense of ourselves generally with our five senses and the bodies that we have and use and experience life through. So where shall we begin our conversation today? The soul's journey. We're individuals. We each have our own story.
Yes.
And collectively, we have a collective story. So the world is like a large play, a large drama, and we each have our part to play in that context. So we have our own story within the one story. And of course, this is a great amount of confusion for many of us, because we often say, well, who am I and what is my life's purpose? What should I do? Of course, there are many different types of people, right? Some people are just filled with the fervor for life, and they have a sense of where they're going, what they want to do, without a second thought. And then, of course, for many of us at a different time or certain times, we may, especially in the quiet times where we maybe find ourselves alone, question, who am I really? And what am I doing? And where am I going? And is there some kind of purpose or meaning or structure to my existence?
Who am I? I really think I'm a complex of many beings, because we have roles to play, and each of us has to play that role to the hilt. So whatever it is, we play the role, we live the role as we should. But first, we have to understand that role.
Well, I just thought maybe it would be a good opportunity for us right now to introduce ourselves a little bit more, so that for each of us and for whoever's joined us in the recording or live has a sense of who we are. So maybe Leia, would you like to give us a little bit of an intro into who you are, or what is the nature of your life?
Good afternoon, everyone. And for our discussion today, since it's all about the soul's journey, so I identify myself as first as a Catholic. I will remain, and I think I will eventually die Catholic. So I just think of, like, I always was oriented with the values of the church. And as I go on, sometimes I become so judgmental because I feel like if somebody is no longer doing or against what's being taught in the church, and so when I grew up, I started to be judgmental, and my word was like black and white. But as I journey on, I realized that I could not judge people black and white because they have their own stories to tell, and they're also on their own journey. And just like me, I'm also capable, or I also have my times that I'm not aligned to the light, or to the Christian or to the Catholic values that I have been oriented to. So it has taught me all throughout to be patient and compassionate, because as they say, murdering is not the worst that you can do to your brother or sister. It is apathy and lack of understanding that's also equivalent to murder.
Very good. Tensi.
Me, I'm really, and I have always been very pathetic.
Pathetic, did you say?
Very pathetic.
Which in the French meaning of the word is quite different to the negative connotation.
Oh, it's
We'll have to talk about that later if we have.
very pathetic, meaning my feet are always on the go. And so is my soul.
Restless.
Sometimes I'm asked, what are you really? Where are you from? See, I'm from the Philippines, and I've been to the northernmost part of my country and to the southernmost, and I have really been around the Philippines and some other parts of the world, but I really do enjoy my country. And physically, I really have traveled, met our indigenous peoples, our mestizos and mestizas, and I do identify with all of them. And as for the journey of my soul, oh, it's there. You see, there are many roles I play, just like everybody else. I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, a former wife because I'm now a widow. And and I really do have many friends, especially among the children. And I hope I'm trying hard enough to fulfill the demands of every role that I play. Because if Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage, as you quoted earlier, Duncan, this stage is really broad and wide and deep. And each role has its own ups and downs. And I do try very hard to understand those intricacies of every role that comes my way. That way, I can honestly say I enjoy this journey that has been appointed to me by the Supreme.
Oh, that's lovely. That's very good. Well, I share your empathy with the country, the Philippines, and of course I have one for my own country, Australia, but I'm here experiencing this one. And Leah, it's fascinating what you're saying about your Catholic faith and how it guides you, but also how you feel that it's well, I guess it's sort of like somehow it's goalposts for you. Yeah. It gives you a sense of direction or what should be the run in life. So, and of course, in our existence, in our lives, we call it a journey because the journey is a sense of traveling through time. And with that, we experience many different things and take on many different roles. As you were saying, Tensi, you're a daughter and also a former wife. And these are all parts of what become our part. So to use that allegorical, theatrical idea that Shakespeare so eloquently put into words, that we are like actors playing our parts. I think what's the theme that's come up between both of what you've said there is a sense of perhaps right and wrong, and the black and white. Life is not so black and white, and having to accept the spectrum, the spectrum of people's choices and our own. Would you say that even though you view yourself as a Catholic, that it gives you, you know, do you feel that you're kind to yourself if you feel you sway from the code?
There are times that I also become judgmental to myself, because my relationship to others always reflect to how I relate to myself.
Right.
So if I'm feeling like I'm being judgmental to other people, I know that I'm also being highly critical of myself. So I always go back that to create that peace all over again, because like they say that there's no war outside that can disrupt you if you're peaceful inside, or you're not critical, or you're not angry, or you're not judgmental to other people if you don't hate yourself, because it's really directly proportional. How you relate to others is your relationship towards yourself.
Yeah, lovely. Yes, beautifully said. Absolutely. And it's one of those important realizations for a happy life, to be able to know that how you respond to yourself will be mirrored in how you view others and respond to others. So that I would say is a very important lesson in the journey, so that you can maintain your happiness or increase it. Because we are social creatures at the same time, and being a part of living with other people or interacting with other people is very important. And anything you want to add to that?
You see, Duncan and Leah, while I know I have my roles to play, other people have theirs too.
Yeah.
And very often I become a watcher to the roles that people play, to their journeys, especially as a mediator, as a court-trained mediator. I see people journey, and a number of them really do not know that their journey is leading them to paths not worthy of the human soul. Because very often people argue and debate and really quarrel over things that can really be let go of, things that are not really important. But they exert all their effort. And I, after having been trained by Inner Space, now I can watch people journey while I keep my peace, because I know I shouldn't join them in their troubles. However, it is also my obligation to lead them, because I'm a mediator, to show them just where they are and to make them decide whether they want to pursue the track they are in just at that moment. And very often they realize, oh my, yeah, I could have done it the other way around. But we cannot dictate on people. They have to choose their own paths, because each of us has a journey to go through.
So It's a-
My journey is that I
Mm.
watch other journeys.
to observe, to
I
be
observe,
an observer.
yes, and keep my own peace.
Right.
Not,
yeah, no, sorry.
not get involved in their problems, but somehow lead them towards an understanding of just where they are at the moment.
Right.
And very often they choose to look at things as they should be seen, and that leads to peace among the adversaries and among themselves, their own selves, and me too.
So it's about forming good habits, isn't it?
Yes.
To be good to the self and to remain unaffected by others and their choices. It sounds simple, but can be a difficult task at times, depending on what personal inner strength we may have. I wanted to just bring up the idea there. We've used those terms about the self. We're like actors playing a role within this sort of unlimited drama of the world. So with that understanding, or with those concepts, maybe we can, or should try to take it a step further and connect with maybe a different sense of ourselves. That's basically what the meditation is all about.
Yes.
And if we call ourselves a spiritual being, a being of light that has intrinsic qualities, that's the part that I often forget and love the most,
Me too.
is that when you move into that sense of being, okay, at the end of the day, you know, my body's tired, but I'm still this other, there's another part of me that exists that experiences something. And yeah, so that's what the meditation does. It connects you with that part of yourself, which is not reliant on what this is all about. And it's a bit of a trick of the mind, because we wake up and we want to do things. We want to be in action. We look in the mirror and we go, hey, you. And yet there's this other part of us. So the actor, the soul, is wearing a mask, to use the theatre analogy. And I think the problems that we experience, a part of it is that it's like that Jim Carrey movie, The Mask, you know, where he can't take it off after a while.
Mhm.
It starts to dominate his thinking and everything he does. So he's someone else, someone more powerful when he wears the mask, but it takes over. And I think that's, you know, we're using simplistic terms, we're using theatrical analogy, but to think about it in that way, that that the essence of you is actually beyond the physical dimension and what exists. And in that is a great peace, is a great stillness, is a great silence. But the meditation is about connecting with that. And, you know, that's my personal daily journey. And I try as best I can to get it happening early in the morning. Well, we're just going to take a 1 minute breather and experience a golden drop of inspiration. And we'll be right back to talk some more about our journey of the soul. Hello and welcome back here at the Soul's Journey, Inner Space Cebu. Today, Saturday, 29th of April. And I'm here with Leah and Tenzi. I'm Duncan, and we're examining the idea of the soul, spirit, and the journey. So I have a question for both of you, either of you, which is, what is this journey all about? Fingers are pointing.
What is this? What is this journey? To me, it's a journey towards the Supreme. Every step is supposed to take us closer to Him. But being human, we sometimes take many steps backward. Although this cannot really be helped because we interact with other souls who have their own journeys. So at the end of the day, I think it would be very good if we take stock of just where we are, what we have done during the day. Did we move closer to Him, or are we many, many steps back? Sometimes I get disappointed with myself, but I don't stop there. I always hope that because He is very powerful, He will draw me back to Himself, and I am supposed to go where He leads me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that. What is this journey all about for you, Leah?
I view it as a collective journey. We may look at it like it's a personal at the same time collective. It's personal because you take responsibility of yourself in terms of leading closer to the Supreme and being true to your pristine nature. Because our nature is like, or our original nature was like when we were kids, we didn't have any prejudices, we don't discriminate, and we have simple joys. So that was our default nature. And I view it also at the same time collective because I look at it like the people that I come across with, I have a responsibility to at least, if that's just the timeline of time that we have together, make her life a little lighter or better every time I come across another soul. So it's also I look at it as like a co-passenger in the bus. Like we have to look after each other, or just like our trekkers in the mountains. Like when we cross the ferocious mountains, we look after each other. Like we make sure that everybody is able to go to reach the peak of the mountain. We look after each other's needs. So it's personal for me and collective as a community at the same time.
That's very good. So yes, cooperation with others, looking out for others, and Tensi moving towards the divine. And I love that. That's really lovely. And yeah, well, I can't really add to that. I find every day is a journey from before sunrise to after sundown. And at the end of the day, I think, well, how can I do it better tomorrow in terms of my inner reality, you know, and my response to the world. So how do you nurture your soul?
Tall order.
Huh?
A tall order. How do we nurture our soul? Oh, many, many ways. Nurturing the soul is looking at it, looking into it, treasuring it, loving it, and have, the tall order is keeping within the light, and invigorating that light, which in the end should really unite with the big light. So very difficult, especially when we come in, you know, in contact with ideas that differ from ours. And people who insist, and I also insist, on keeping close to the rules that I have set for myself, trying very hard to accommodate other ideas, letting them be and helping them grow. Very, very tall order, but
Can I summarize that then?
Yes,
By
please.
saying that you value introspection
yes.
and a
very
focus on
much.
the truth
Yes.
with that.
Thank you.
And yeah, okay. Oh, how do you nurture your soul?
How do I nurture my soul? I make sure that I have a healthy soul hygiene. And when I mean that, I only consume those that are good thoughts, although I'm still exposed to bad news, reality. But I have also the capacity to transform it into like to still being positive, but not in a positive in too positive in a way that I'm out of the bubble. So it will make me reflect or like ask myself what I can do to make it better, or what I can do that particular issue that we face in the world will somehow the next generation will no longer experience that. So I make sure that I will consume good thoughts in a day. So I look out for thoughts that would make me feel light and better, positive thoughts, and also even songs. I don't listen anymore to negative songs. Before, when it was like a pop and it was like trendy, I listened to that. But even songs can influence your feelings and your ideas. So I'm also very selective already with songs. I appreciate the artistry of it, but I don't play it so much that it's ingrained in me. So that's how I keep my soul hygiene healthy.
So erring
It's-
towards positivity
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
positive vibrations.
Correct.
And of course, that's a really very important thing, because you mentioned, when dealing with issues that will affect future generations. And of course, a lot of people have a tendency to react in a maybe negative way, even though they know that they're trying to improve something or make something better. But there's often, a fight starts to ensue. And of course, that's when we lose our peace in trying to bring about peace. What is the value of a soul?
Oh,
What value can you put on?
it's invaluable.
Very good.
For me, it's my original state. It's myself. So it's something that we don't see, but we know that it's there. Just like the scientists, they said that there were times that the scientists were looking into the dead bodies and try to experiment the brains of the dead bodies because they wanted to look for the self. But it's not there. It's intangible, it's invisible, but you know it's there. And it's everything, because the state of the soul will reflect or the physical being of a person. You know that there's something toxin in a person if the mental and the soul part is not healthy, because it's where it begins. So to maintain the health of the physical part, it begins with the soul. The soul has to be healthy so that the physical part will be healthy.
Yeah. And that childlike innocence of the original nature, which is intangible, like you said, like what is the soul itself in physical terms. We can't put a size on it. Yeah, lovely. Exactly what do you mean that we do not die? This is a question that's come in through Facebook, because Mum Ellen was saying that she had visited a wake a few days ago, and she was asking the question, well, the person that she knew is no longer there, but the body is there. So,
I am acquainted with a person who actually had an out-of-body experience. She saw her body being cleaned up and wept over by her friends. But she wanted to tell them not to cry too hard because she was going back to that body. She saw how still she was, but she wanted to tell them, she said that, I am not that one. I am this one. So don't pay too much attention to that. I'm going back there. And she did. I said, why did you go back? I didn't feel like I should leave. There was just something that was telling me, I am not yet done. So she went back into her body, and now she's somebody really, really, I say holy, because she pursues, as you said, healthy things, good things. And I really find goodness, kindness in her.
did your friend ever talk about with her out-of-body experience that there was a sense of something other?
Yes, she did. She felt she was in that presence, but there was no word between them. She just knew that she will have to go back to her body.
So she didn't have an experience of dying as such, just simply becoming separate to her body.
Yes, separate, because there was too much pain, she said. So she felt like she just moved out a little to avoid the pain. But she saw her sisters. Actually, she's a nun. She saw the sisters in her congregation crying over her, praying over the body. She said, no, that's not me. I am me here. I'm the soul. So
she experienced a separation.
yes, she did.
A distinction, let's say.
Between the creature on the hospital bed and she hovering about them and knowing that she would have to go back. But I asked her if she saw that proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. She said, no. She said, she just felt, she knew. So I said, well, that was the intelligence, the super intelligence communicating with your intelligent soul.
And calling her back. Her part had not yet finished.
Right.
Yeah, very nice.
In the Catholic faith, well, we have the heaven as our like that would make us like immortal. But for me, a soul just transitioned to a different form. It's there. It's always been there because a soul cannot be destroyed. Or they said that in physics, a soul is an energy and you cannot destroy an energy. It just transforms to another being. That's why when you're dead, it's just a physical part of you that's dead, but it's not you. It's the energy that is your identity.
Yes, very good. All very good answers and interesting. Food for thought. What makes a soul then? I'm thinking circus acrobatics, but no.
What do you think, Duncan?
Well, you know, it's all of our experience. You see, I had the thought today that looking at the world as an unlimited play, as an unlimited drama, we all together, all of humanity, are existing in the same moment, every moment. And yet we have our innate individual experience within that. And so we can definitely safely say we are distinct. We have a distinct self. And of course, you know, there are some that believe that, you know, there's a tradition in India where they meditate and they give up the worldliness of home and family in order to achieve nirvana, of merging with the spiritual light. But I love the concept that that is a place where we've come from, and ourselves in our essence are a fragment of that light, and we remain that, but we go through changes, and we evolve and devolve. And I believe that if we look at the world like a clock, you know, what time is it on planet Earth? You know, I think we're coming to the end of an eon, and the birth of a new eon. And there is going to be a lot of changes in the next few years physically, and this will call upon us all to question these fundamental ideas of our existence and where we place ourselves within that, within the journey. I've got another question here. How can this journey be more exciting without much troubles and pain? How can we make our journey a pleasant one?
I think it's acceptance that the polarity of the world, there's good and bad. Because if you resist the good, I mean the bad, and just focus on the good things, the reality will tell you that that's not possible. But what the most you can do is really gracefully accept it, like with all your heart, like accept that things happen for a reason. And if you look at the big picture of everything that happened in history, you could really like connect the dots that everything happened. That was necessary. Like that bad thing that happened in the past was necessary to give birth to a new world. It's so much better than what we destroyed, or for all the pains that the place or that person has to go through in order to transform the person and the place, the society, and everybody else to a better person and better place. So it's really appreciating the good with the bad.
Acceptance. Yeah.
And knowing the good, we can avoid the bad. However, these two polarities are really present always. Yeah. So it is up to us to judge, or, judge, yes, which path to pursue. As Leah said, things in the past happened so that the future could be better. Now, many, many things are happening in our world. There have been very many changes. I think it all depends upon how we accept these things, how we place them in the proper order of our lives, without letting each or any of them pull us down. We really should be moving towards, my interpretation is that light. We should all be moving towards the light. And if there is darkness or any flickerings along the way, let's just take them as they are. Do not let them detract us.
Yeah, yes. The duality ever present.
Yes.
And I love what you mentioned about the innate childlike nature, that purity. I think what we have in reality is a dichotomy. We have our pure essence, which we struggle to get in touch with, and the fact that there is good and bad in our experience, in the actions of others and ourselves. So that's the dichotomy. It's about being able to remind yourself that you are actually complete. You are actually able to access the good. Along this journey, time traveling, we're time travelers.
Actually, I really think each of us should be conscious that this life is, it's just
A
a
step in.
sojourn.
Right.
It's a sojourn, and we can make our next life, or the next part of our journey, a wee bit better if we try very hard now.
Hmm. I mean, being a Catholic, how do you view the idea of reincarnation? That, I mean, you mentioned it before about energy. Not energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It's eternal.
Well, in the Catholic faith, we don't believe in reincarnation. So it's like you are a unique soul.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's the teaching in the Catholic.
But
talks
it's about being
reincarnation.
tied to the body, isn't it? It's about being tied to the corporeal distinction of that person. I mean, I'm just questioning it in response of looking at how a doctrine can imbue us with the idea of a spiritual nature and yet be dependent on what happens to the body. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, for me, I looked at that at a very young age and I thought, no, it seems to be a bit limiting. And I erred towards the Eastern idea of a permanent nature, eternal spark that takes other lives through time. You know, there is an idea that we suffer because of actions that we've done that were misaligned or were done because of a mistake of how we viewed ourselves in the world. And that comes under the banner of karma. But karma is also this desire to do action. We desire to be in action. So we desire our lives. We want to live. We want to express ourselves in this time-space reality of the five senses. So, and basically what the meditation is about putting the brakes on that for a few minutes and being able to have the spiritual world, which is actually the existence of what stimulates our thoughts. You know, scientists and biologists, they look at the human body and they try to decide where is consciousness, what is consciousness, you know. And so I think as human beings, we have that wonderful ability to be able to say, well, I am conscious. I experience myself to be conscious. And so, yeah, I'm not about to pose any idea here besides just the sense that, you know, our consciousness can be a lot more than just what we experience through our senses and our sense of ourselves. So I don't know, we must be coming up to the end of the hour, and were there more questions coming in, or?
Actually, Duncan, what you just said, I really looked into in phenomenology, but I thought
What was that? And what did you call it?
what you said about the duality
Ah, yes.
and how we should consciously pursue our intentions. In phenomenology, we looked into that,
right.
but I don't think I was ready at that time. Because I was very, very young when I was exposed to Miguel de Unamuno. So I think this discussion this afternoon will make me go back and see just where our journey is leading us to. And maybe, yeah, I'll pursue phenomenology once again. And I'm very grateful for sessions like this, because we are able to delve into the more important things that should occupy our journeys.
Yes, yes.
As we move on.
It's great. Yeah, look, thank you both for your input. with that. And it's fascinating. I mean, when I first came to the Philippines, I really didn't know much about Catholicism. And I went on a bit of a journey with Indai, my wife, who took me to some of the more sacred aspects of Catholicism. And probably in all of the Philippines, I'd say that Cebu is probably the purest of the Catholic faith, with the Santo Nino and the whole story around the child Christ and how he came to be here in the Philippines.
This
And
is
it
where
was,
Christianity began.
Yeah, for the Philippines, indeed.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's a beautiful thing. I really was taken with it. I from a very young age, I realized that I wasn't of the Christian faith as such, even though my mother and other influences had been involved in it. So, I looked at other kinds of theology and but yeah, it's I've got nothing negative to say about it. It's shaped this country, and it's shaped this island in particular, and these neighboring islands in a very special way. So I think we've come to the end of our hour, and thanks everyone for
Thank
being with us.
you. This is really a privilege and a gift.
Yeah, and Sister Ellen's going to wrap up
Yes,
the
and we
session.
would like to thank you for, bringing us into this discussion, which is really very, I would just say, important. It's really something that we all need to know. And it was beautiful, you sharing your different journeys. Well, I remember Leah, who's the youngest of the group here right now, who has these profound thoughts on, I am a Catholic, but yet she's so open. And I appreciate so much how you have shared your own story. Okay. No,
Please. Oh,
it's okay. Actually, we would like to have another commentary here right now. And we would like to invite you for a few minutes just to see this beautiful video about Lost and Found. And this is our story. So can we please have the video now, Princess D? Our story is actually your story and my story. So let's view this now. And we would like to give special acknowledgement to the Inner Space Manila for this beautiful video that was created with Sister Lucy Perez. Lost and Found, our story.
Once upon a time, I, the soul, the being of light, live in my home, the home of all souls. My Father, the highest of all beings, also lives here. In the midst of peace and serenity, at some point a stirring happens within me. This stirring pushes me to come down to a wonderful new world to play my part. The new earth is beautiful and bountiful. I am new, like a fully loaded and supremely charged battery. I am also totally aware of my truth, of my true identity, a being of light energy. Time passes by. Since I am a soul within a physical body, I begin to change. My battery is no longer supremely charged, but I am still fully charged. As a new being on earth, I am still aware of my true form, a being of truth, and a powerful soul. My body enjoys the full potential of a self-aware soul. I am full of love, peace, health and happiness. Then a shift begins. I forget myself, my true identity. I create many little false identities, little I's, possessions, talents, wealth, beauty, strength. I begin to identify myself with these I's, that these are components of my whole being. I become body conscious. The biggest evidence of this shift is I begin to experience sorrow. Comparison and competition became a common phenomenon. From being supremely charged to fully charged, I become a half-charged battery. My little I's become my complete identity. The world that I once came upon becomes divided. Different languages emerge. The idea of religion, such as Islam, Buddhism, and Christianity, grows and attempts to lessen the feelings of conflict and sadness. Yet sorrow and pain continue in the world. By this time, I totally forget my original identity. From being soul conscious, I am now totally body conscious. I lose my original qualities of peace, purity, power, wisdom, love, joy, and bliss. Instead, I now have lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, carelessness and laziness. In fact, sorrow and peacelessness seem to increase. My transformation into a physical being is almost complete. My battery is almost completely drained. My true identity is crowded into a little corner by my little I's. Everything around me becomes corrupt, polluted, and degraded. In the midst of this chaos and immorality, God, our Father, the Supreme Being, comes to us. He reintroduces himself to us and tells us our story. In this way, he ultimately introduces us to ourselves, to our true, original selves. He tells us about the secrets of life, actions, relationships, fortune and misfortune, victory and defeat. He teaches us Raja Yoga. This connects us to him, the Supreme Being, our true power generator. We begin to recognize our true selves. The soul, a being of metaphysical light, very much like our Father, the Supreme Being, divine and complete. I awaken and rekindle my true characteristics, become fully charged once again, and return home. The world that I knew becomes renewed as I rest in the soul world, preparing myself to return to earth, ready to play my part once again.
the Natty Mars Foundation for producing this video. And it is narrated by Chrissy Mahoney of Australia. This is written by Inner Space Manila and animated by Kevin Studios Incorporated. Thank you very much for that video. Somehow, I guess, gives us a clearer view of our journey. Yes, we were lost and now we are found to our original selves because we are originally goodness made in the image and likeness of God. And this is what makes us really so loved to Him, and He is our beloved Father. This we also discover when we get into our Raj Yoga meditation, which links us to the divine, to the divinity in each of us. So thank you once again,
Thank you.
Leah. And of
Thank
course,
you, Inner Space.
thank you very much, Tensi, our tension-free friend, and our brave heart. If you remember, Leah was with us sometime in February last year as she gave us her thoughts as a brave heart. So thank you once again. And of course, for Duncan, Brother Duncan here, who gave a very smooth transition from, from regular things that we do into something which is more meaningful tonight. So at this point, may I just ask some announcements, which will be given to us by Princess D. Princess D, can we have the announcement, please?
So, good afternoon, everyone. We wish to invite you to our regular midday midweek meditation. This happens every Wednesday from 12:30 to 1. And our next month theme is My Loving Mother. Also on May 27, 2023, it's our Saturday with Sister Denise Lawrence, who will brighten our day when she tells us why the best is yet to come. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Princess D. Isn't that a very big news that we have right now? We're having Sister Denise all the way from Paris, who would talk to us on the topic, the best is yet to come. Do you or not? Do you agree with that? That the best is yet to come? In our journey right now, there might be troubles and pain, there may be sorrow, and there might be obstacles and challenges, yet the best is yet to come. So May 27 is going to be a date with us, with Denise Lawrence. Yes, and we come to a point right now where we would like to acknowledge our special guest. And Princess D, can we get back to you for the screen sharing? Yes, we would like to say thank you and acknowledge our very special people who have shared not just their thoughts, but their experiences on their journey. And of course, today we have for acknowledging to Sister Leela, who opened our meditation with a beautiful journey of the soul. And later we had Duncan, who hosted us in this program. Thank you very much, Duncan. And much appreciation also to Leah Chavez and Ten Sevilla, who were our resource persons for tonight. Appreciation also to Golden Drops. And of course, our appreciation to all of you who joined this special conversation on the soul's journey at Zoom, FB, and face-to-face. And may I just mention, those who are in FB who are with us. This Mona of Baguio, Arlene of Bicol, Nancy of Butuan, Elva, of course, is with her. And we also have Pet online right now. Amitan of Quezon City, Remy, good afternoon. She's here also with us right now in FB, and the Baguio Retreat Center of Brahma Kumaris. We also have Dokshi Reyes of Quezon City and Mario of Cotabato. Clyde Barmela joins us all the way from Antique. Thank you very much, folks, and we'll see you once again. All the nice feelings and good wishes to everyone. And Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you.